Hello everyone and welcome to this WildStar live stream. We are here with two awesome guests. I have John Wiesman, our lead client engineer, and Megan Starks, our senior game designer over here. And we want to talk about a new zone which we are currently developing. It's called the Defile. And Megan, can you just start telling us anything about it, because I have heard from you that it's actually hard to talk about it because there are a lot of spoilers involved. So we want to warn all of you guys that if you haven't played the WildStar yet, if you're just like leveling up, or if you don't want to get spoiled at all, please be careful. We will talk about things you may not know yet.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, since the game's been out for a couple months, we've already had 2 updates. The first one was a whole new zone in our Strain Ultra Drop, and then the second one was a PvP Battlegrounds. This third update that we're working on is again a whole new zone, and we're calling it the Defile. So this is spoiler heavy if you haven't been playing the game, but we're not going to give anything away if you have been playing the game. So just to give you a little bit of backstory, everything that you've been doing in the game, the world story of the game, has been leading up to this question of what happened to the Elden before they disappeared, off of Nexus thousands of years ago. And we know that their greatest scientific experiment was the creation of an all-powerful being that they called the Genesis Prime. Players have actually met her in-game as Drusera. She's reached out to them, and they've been helping her a little bit along the way, because we also know during this time an evil, insidious being known as the Entity was also created, and along with it, the biological contaminant called the Strain that we've seen kind of creeping around, taking over Nexus. It turns everything it touches into the Strain. So we just wanted to, basically the Defile is kind of the culmination of all of these, the prologue to the WildStar story, and it answers a lot of questions, and it also kicks off the rest of the epic story of Nexus.
Yeah, and I think we are ready to jump into the game,
sure,
right?
Yeah. Cool. Let's show it off.
So I can see a tree over here, and it looks really, really nice and colorful. But what is this all about?
So this is actually where players left off in our last update, the Strain. They ended here defending the Tree of Hope, which was the first ever creation that Drusera made with, just the power of her mind. And she actually created it in order to repel the Strain and kind of trap the Entity away on Nexus. Since players were successfully able to defend the tree, Drusera is actually opening up a whole new zone to players. She's opened up this area that's been sealed away for thousands of years because she needs the players to help her fight the Entity and the Strain.
So yeah, and I think, as far as I know, and sorry that I interrupt you, we have seen sneak peeks of it in the previous match with like Lighthaven. This is now where the wall cracks down.
Right, the walls have come down, so she trusts us now to go into this area, which is good.
Yeah, so this first area is called the Sonic Plaza that we're looking at right now. You can see this gorgeous Elden Resonance Tower. Basically, this is actually one of our solo content areas. So for players who like to come in and do, our solo content, it has everything you would expect in one of our solo areas in the game. It's got new quests, new challenges, new path missions, achievements, lots of reward items, and each faction is represented here. So both the Exiles and the Dominion have established science hubs, and they're kind of racing to reach this Elden Resonance Tower in the middle. You can see that the area is surrounded by this yellow organic substance that's called Exonite, and we know that Exonite actually repels the Strain. When the Strain touches it, it's kind of hurt by it. So basically the factions are racing to find out what the Elden knew about Exonite and how we can use it against the Strain and the Entity.
That was an example of a jump puzzle for explorers, by the way.
Oh yeah,
that we just
we're
passed.
looking at some jump pads right there.
A really big one.
So just if you're not aware of the game, Explorer is one of our paths in WildStar, and we always make sure that when we create new content, we factor it in there. You have this path content, which gives something for you, which you choose at the start, and we actually want to be able to bring you into the game and let you explore more things. And now we're flying into this dark area, Sonic Plaza. It looks really, really nice, but what's the thing over here? What do we have to encounter?
So basically, we just did a really quick sneak peek at that solo area. The next area that we wanted to show you guys is called the Black Focus, and it deals more with the strain and how it's been spreading throughout Nexus. This is a good example of what we like to call found content in our game. It's for players who like to explore off the beaten path and check out new areas of the map. They'll actually get a nice payoff with finding this entire area full of gameplay. This is a small group area. It's for groups of 5 players. And when you enter this area, Drusera contacts you, and she explains that a once prominent Elden scientist has been corrupted by the strain and is now a servant to the entity and is furthering his cause. What's going on here is he's found a primal focus, and we've come across a couple of these in the game already, and we know that primal focuses are this ancient, alien technology that focuses the primal elements of Nexus, and we've seen some of the things that they can do in the game. The primal focus in Whitevale controls the entire environment. The primal focus in Wilderun is rumored to, kind of grant immortality or eternal youth. This one has been corrupted, so it's called the Black Focus, and you can see that coupled with the terraformers attached to it, it's actually dynamically changing the environment from what used to be there into the strain. Now the areas are representative of the primal elements on Nexus, and they're represented in opposing elements. So we can see right now we have water and fire, we also have earth and air, and we have life and logic. The players will move through these different environments in order to disable the terraformers and stop the spread of the strain, and when they do that, they'll encounter creatures and environmental hazards that are unique to those biomes. Anything? Sorry, I'm just kind of like...
No, that's good. No, I would have said exactly that.
And anyway. I think one of the major things that we actually want to highlight is that when we actually create like graphical assets and things in the world of WildStar, we think about which colors to use, how to display things, because everything is tied together, and this whole huge mystery of Nexus is actually something we always have in mind when creating assets, right?
Yes, I mean, I think the area is gorgeous with the elements and then surrounded by this disgusting strain. It's just so cool. But so once you've disabled the terraformers, and you can actually go confront Coral the Defiler directly, who's the Elden scientist that was corrupted. You'll start by climbing these spiraling platforms that ascend to him. You'll notice that the Defiler has booby-trapped some of these platforms, so you'll need to avoid the telegraphs in order to avoid taking damage or getting knocked off of them as you move through the area with your group of 5. We can also see... Oh, do you want to...
No, I was just going to point it out. There's something over there.
Yeah, so this is actually really cool. Off over on the side, there's what looks like this giant mouth to this strain creature in the ground, this strain worm. This is another example of some of the found content that we provide in WildStar. For players that like to explore and feel a little curious, you can actually jump right down in there and end up in the belly of the beast. So now you're walking around inside of his intestines, checking it out. And we do provide some path-related content inside of here. Soldiers have a holdout to destroy the strain heart of the beast. Scientists can do some scans to learn about the biology, and of course we provide a hidden data cube for one of our lore unlockables. So you can actually hear a voice recording of one of the Elden scientists of the past talking about, stuff on Nexus.
Right. We want to reward you for basically exploring all the nooks and crannies of Nexus, even the really gross ones.
Yeah, look at that strain heart.
Yeah, I mean, we have a living world, and you can actually see that in here, although it's not always shiny, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
So we're going to head on out of the intestinal tract.
We came in through the mouth.
And now we're leaving through the opposite end. And we're just going to fly right on up to Coral the Defiler, because we're devs and we're cheating to show you guys what's going on. It would not be quite so easy in the normal game, but...
Right. If you're a dev and you're not cheating, you're doing it wrong.
Especially in PvP, right?
Right. No, that's not true. No. Never cheat in PvP.
So the Defiler, he's an example example of one of our customized boss fights. So he's a little bit more challenging than what you'd experience in normal solo content because he is for a group of 5 players. We've given him a wide variety of intricate telegraphs. He's got a good, variety of attacks that he'll use against you. So you're going to need to be on your toes, avoiding the telegraphs and coordinating with everybody your attacks. But also he's got different stages to his boss fight. So you can see occasionally he'll walk around to these primal nodes on the platform that represent the different primal elements of Nexus, and he'll imbue himself with its power. So for example, if he goes and imbues himself with primal life, then you'll want to find the opposing element to power up on in order to be able to attack him again, because otherwise he'll be immune to your attacks. So you'll have to find primal logic and imbue yourself with that to continue the fight. He's actually, I just think, really cool because his model's really neat and I like it, but so we'll just go ahead and kill him off, I think.
So this is content that you play as a solo player,
No,
right?
this is for groups of 5.
And groups of 5, okay. So if you're really, really good, if you're like me, then you can play it as a solo player, but normally it's like for groups of 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if someone could solo it.
To be honest,
if they were really, really good.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't think you could, no.
Well, okay. I mean, the game is set up to reward skilled players. So if you're really good at avoiding telegraphs and you have really good gear and you're patient with it.
Oh, so we've killed Coral.
So yeah, once you defeat the Defiler, you actually destroy the black focus, and this is the first time that players will have destroyed one of the focuses in the game. So you get to see what happens.
Is it focuses or foci?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
It's actually
let's ask a German how to pluralize. Yeah,
it's focus, so it's actually quite nice. Although I don't know what our localization department is doing with it. But to be honest, we've now talked about a lot of stuff, and I know that this is a great item because you can put it into your house. This is the right information, right?
Yeah. So
okay. I knew something.
Yes, that's exactly right. So basically, once you've destroyed the focus, you actually get the remains as a trophy item that you can put on your housing plot and show it off to your friends. And of course, we give you lots of nice reward items off the quest itself, and for the boss drops loot items. But
it's a nice thing if you actually can manage it. I would actually want that we get one for if you kill him solo, so that I have something in my house as well.
Yeah,
well,
you could really brag.
I guarantee you there will be people who do this solely for the trophy that they're going to put in their house. Yes, we know that.
And I mean, that's a nice aspect because we have the housing in WildStar and we have seen so many amazing houses, and we will talk more about that on Sunday in our live stream as well. But now I think we're coming to one of my favorite aspects of this. So who of you guys wants to...
I'm going to talk about this. Okay, so now that we've seen some solo content, we've seen some small group content, now we're going to move into a large public event. This is tuned for 20 people to do in a public event. And one of the things that we want to do with these public events is give people a taste for the kind of gameplay that you can experience when you're in a large group. A lot of people, are intimidated by the idea of doing raids or dungeons, and so we like to put public events that require lots of people, and they're kind of ad hoc groups. You kind of shout out in the zone, "Hey, I'm going to go take on the Siege of the Lightspire. Does anyone want to help?" And so they can do that through this, and then once they get a feel for that, all the different things that you have to do in order to do that, then they many times feel more comfortable tackling raids and things like that. So the basic story here, I'm sorry, I took a little too long there, Morgan, but the basic story here is that the Strain is trying to reach the Lightspire because the entity has been imprisoned within the Lightspire, and the Strain wants to break him out. The Lightspire is surrounded by Exonites, so they can't get there. So they've got these strain worms that are building bridges over the Exonite to get to the Lightspire. And we need to take out all of these strain worms. Now, you'd be doing this with 19 other people, and in order to kill these strain worms, you need to take out all of those nodes that were there, that were called exoganglia. If you don't destroy them all, then the worm will regenerate, so you'll basically have to start over. So it takes a lot of communication and coordination in order to do that. Assuming that, okay, we're going to do it again.
We're going to show it again because
we're going to show it again
more than one time. So it's actually a content.
Morgan wasn't satisfied with my explanation the first time, so he's sending us through again.
Yeah, but I mean, that's absolutely fine because we are here, and to be honest, what we actually want to show you guys is how our content looks like. We have fun with our game, and we actually want to bring that over to you guys as well. This content is mainly a thing where we actually say, okay, you have to coordinate with your other guys, and it's all about like finding your players, finding mates, talking to people, because MMOs are a multiplayer thing.
Absolutely.
Well, I think it looks really cool too because all the different attack ships have different patrol paths. So when you have 20 and 40 players there and they're all flying around on different patrol paths, it looks really cool.
Yeah. So if you make it through all of this, there's a boss fight at the end. There's several other phases to this. It's a pretty big public event. If you make it through the whole thing, then basically we tell you all the answers to all the questions that you have about the main storyline in WildStar. So
I always say that your jaws will just drop because it's like this thing. Some of you will remember our story trailer, and our story trailer was all about the mystery of Nexus, and we're getting closer and closer and closer.
Yeah.
But I know that there are more mysteries already in place, and Chad Moore is always great in teasing these kind of things, especially on Twitter and things. But we have a lot of stuff prepared. So just really quick to wrap up our presentation. What, in your opinion, is like your favorite part about this type of content?
Mine is probably that strain worm, even though it's really, really gross. Just because it's an example of the type of thing. You know, a lot of people would be so focused on what they're trying to do there. They're gonna see it, but they're gonna skip right over it because they've got tunnel vision. They're doing what the quest tells them. But a lot of people are going to look at that and say, I wonder what's down there. And that's the kind of behavior that we like to reward. It's not for everybody, but for the people who like to do that, who just like to look around, we care about those people, and we want them to experience something cool that maybe not everybody gets to.
I think people are going to maybe be mad at me for this one, but I'm going to have to say the big reveal at the end. I played through it for the first time a couple months ago, and it just totally wowed me. And, you know, that's kind of working on the game all the time, it becomes a little bit rare. And, you know, having played through the content so many times, and then I got to this area where I saw the light spire, which is this gorgeous, huge Exonite tower. And then we go inside of it, and, you know, you find out what's in there. And I was just like,
what's in there?
Well, you'll have to play to find out. But yeah, no.
We said there will be spoilers, so
just between you and me and you know, 1,000 of our friends.
Right.
Okay, so unfortunately we can't say that yet, but you will
I'm sure
find it out.
It'll be out soon. We do have a version of the content up on our public test realm where, you know, we invite feedback from players. Please get in, test it out, let us know what you think so we can, you know, polish it and iterate on it and things like that. But, you know, I'm sure soon enough when it hits the game, you'll start seeing things pop up on the forums
and if
social media.
If you're not quite there, but you don't have a problem with spoilers, I'm pretty sure in our forums you will find the answer for this kind of stuff. And in our forums you can also talk to our developers, like these two. Thank you very much for that presentation. And of course, thank you for watching. Thanks to everyone at the booth. It's a pleasure to be here. Check us out at like Twitter. You can find us with @WildStar, and you can also find our website wildstar-online.com. Have a great time, have a great evening, and hopefully we see you tomorrow, because then we're playing devs versus fans again.
Yeah, but you're going to have to defend the devs' honor. I acquitted myself very well.
After we had John Wiesman as the best spell slinger here at Gamescom, we will see Megan in there.
I saw the Reddit thread on my performance as a spell slinger. And
it was quite nice and upvoted, yes.
You hurt my feelings, Reddit.
Okay, so Megan, that's the reveal you can actually give us. Which class will you play?
I play engineer, so.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not a PvPer. Like when I was in the level 3 to 6 zone, somebody challenged me to a duel and I just got spanked, and I was like, I can't. But no, I'm gonna, you know, man up and take on some players, and
Okay.
they're probably just going to roll me. But
So tomorrow I will be Team Carbine.
Okay.
So I will keep my fingers crossed
so
for
you're
you.
going to pull the weight.
And I will hope you tune in as well. Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.